So, applying some lip and some color and getting ready for a little recording. Well, I just hope I won't forget everything that I want to say. I didn't write anything down. But so the things that I want to cover are about self-care, weight loss, and good health and happiness. And I want to hit topics like sayings and no, I forgot. All right, let me think again. Sayings and yeah, I forgot. Okay, just thoughts, heavy thoughts. Please don't look at my nails. They look really bad. I did nails and then I took them off. And then I swear to God, my nails are ruined. And so now I have to wait for them to go back to being healthy. They're falling apart. So then, you didn't expect that, did you? Better? Better. Okay. So beliefs, maybe superstition, old sayings, and what it all has to do with your life, your luck, your happiness, your sense of happiness. And so, okay, let's start with the one that really works the most. And there's extremely deep talk and explanation about it. Okay, so you know this one. And let's start with this. Why are sayings such a big thing? Why do sayings go around the world like in hundreds of years? And why don't they ever disappear? And, well, you could say that's because we like them and there's some truth in it and we can make it all happen. But there's a lot of truth in it. So, for instance, a really nice one. When you smile, the whole world will smile at you. Whoa. So it has enormous meaning. So first of all, I'm going to say, you better smile or you're going to lose it. And I don't mean that harsh or, I don't mean to sound that shitty. But I want to give depth to the meaning of what it really means, which is if you don't keep smiling, you'll start losing things. And it's all part of this whole story. So that's why I started with it. Yeah. So if you smile at yourself in the mirror, even though you don't feel like it, you will eventually create a real smile. And what does that mean? Is it made, created? Is it a false reality? Do you really feel better or not? Well, partly it might become an absolute automatic thing. But what I mean is the feeling behind it. Because you will start to feel it. And that's because you influence yourself. And that's part of the saying. There are so many like it. But if you say it, think about it, it might come true. If you think it, it might come true. If you worry about it, it might come true. These things around the area of that saying are sort of that. If you see yourself smile, you sort of just will be happier just because you do. But there are hundreds and thousands of reasons why it does as well. So that could be like, you have your friends. I look so big. You have your friends and you go out and you meet people and you get in a cab and you go to the bank and you go to the store and you come back home. And every one of these people is going to see you smile. And imagine this. You walk into someone and they say, "Hey, how you doing?" Or they say, "Hey, how are you? I have to sneeze. I hope not." No. Okay. So imagine meeting the new people, and that could be the bakery person, the person that pays your salaries. It could be the water bottle person or whatever. And you'll smile at them and they'll feel a little happier. But they'll also remember you as that nice person. And that nice person is more appreciated than the less nicer person. It's not that you're nicer per se. The person who would really, I'm trying to say something here, so please listen, sad and says, "Oh no." And then you walk into them and they'll say, "Oh, hi." And you're like, "How you doing?" And they're like, "All right, how are you holding up?" Doesn't mean they're not nice. It does not. But that magic smile, however hard to put on sometimes, is going to make it seem so nice and become nice. Like I said, in the mirror will also work outside. You will smile and look at the trees and say, "Yay," at some point. And these people who are all thinking, and now comes the important part, that you're so great, are going to come to you or want you in their life in some way. So if you're happy and you're upbeat and you're smiling and you keep going strong and they're looking for someone to work with them on their documents in their office, they need an office lady, and they know that you do the work, where you apply for the work and you sit in front of your new employer and you're calm, sophisticated, but smiling, they'll probably hire you over the person that's not smiling. And more so, all over maybe the town you live or the city you live or the whole world, if you're more global, people are going to say, "We want that person because that is the person we want." And so there comes the first thing that is magical for your life. Smile. And the whole world will smile at you. What is a saying? If you ask yourself, sometimes they mean more than you could ever possibly imagine. And then so there's the representation saying. What was that again? I don't remember, but it's just as important. The way you look gives people the same thing. They'll feel a little better about it, about their lives, about meeting you, about meeting people, and about knowing you or working with you, and they want it and they like it. And so it's all kinds of things that could really work for you. Now, this was going to be about my life, my diet, my weight loss. And I thought the sayings would be very much a strong part of what I was going to tell you. but that I might forget about it along the story. So I thought I'd tell you that first. I'd say that first. Probably nobody listening to this. So maybe one day, you never know. When I'm thin, suddenly it's important. What I was going to say is that, should I say it or not, it's a different topic. I just was going to let my mouth hang down. And then I forced myself to smile. And then I went, hey, I really feel it. And then I thought, should I say it? And then I did. But so going on with the story. Here we go. I have to keep on track about the story. What was important? I realized, and I don't know if that's for everybody, but I'm sure for a lot of people, when you're in that state of gaining weight, you mostly are very concerned about life, about how things are going, or about how people are behaving. So if they make a whole issue about how to call people that are plus size, they'll say they're obese, or they'll say they're morbid. Like, what is morbid? Someone licking a dead skull. So you're morbid, obese. It can really hit you if you think about it. It's the wrong wording, but whatever. Whatever means keep smiling, right? But you can be in a state of that about anything. You can worry about your product, your soup. You look at it, you're like, I had this soup for 10 years. I made a cup of soup. It turns out it has 500 calories, and I never even knew, and it says slim soup. And you can really get into that and feel depressed. But there are so many things that you can be depressed about. And mostly that, the deeper, important meaning of it is so bad. That it is terrible how the world has become. That it's so incredibly hurtful to society and everyone in it to be so bad. And that it's so horrible, you just want to write your poetry. You just want to paint it. When I was a girl, I think I was 18, we learned about how cows were fed their own bones and parts of their bodies, and then they got the cow disease, and people were saying maybe it's because they ate the wrong thing, and we were like, oh my God, and those things really hit you, like, how can something so stupid happen? And then I just wanted to paint it. I didn't, and I'm kind of glad I did, but I wanted to paint the cow eating its own body from the tray in front of it, and then the other cow lying there with its cow disease, its legs up, falling down, and actually at this time of day, I kind of changed. I don't know about truth, about stories anymore. I think they're just hyping it all up and making it all look bad, but really do. To decide, what I am getting at is that you're emotionally, most of the plus size people are emotionally so bonded with all these so very bad things that we consume it, we overconsume it. And then it just hit me. It's like the drug user, okay? The drug user does that too. There are a lot of kids when I was younger that would walk around and smoke pot and do whatever kind of drug, or go to being the dark alternative dancer thing, or the emo thing, and sad sorry life, because of society and what happens in the world and how it's all gone bad. And then I realized, that is a really big part of that smile that you don't have. and that you need. But besides that, shove it there and leave it there. Remember, you need a smile, but look at that. So what does a 15-year-old girl do that looks at society and the world and the animals and starts using drugs? All that pain, right? And it's just not something she can let go. Now, that's the point I'm saying it for, because you're just a little too much love. You're just too much involved. You're just too much hurt. You just want too much good. And you're right. But since you're probably not going to get it, you have to get over it and move on, because you don't want to be that 15-year-old girl with the drugs. You don't want to be that 600-pound person. You don't want to be anything else in between. You just want to be happy, because every time you wake up, you're sad. You say, I want to be happy so bad. I want to be thin so bad. I don't want to do this thing that is so bad for me. Why is it happening? Why do I do it? Why? And then you walk to the mirror and say, why? And then you walk to the bathroom and say, why? And then you cry. So you don't want to do it. That's clear. You do not want that. So you have to say goodbye to being so involved. And maybe you want to paint or write, and it might be helpful. But what you have to see, and that really works. When I wanted to paint that and felt really bad, I at one point just told myself, that's it. I can't do that anymore. I'm sad all day. All I do is think of this. And it doesn't help, which is what I was getting at. It doesn't help. The feeling of it's not helping is not helping. Not the world, not the cows, not anybody. It helps nobody. Nothing is helped with your sorrow. The only thing that helps is really doing something about it. And that could be join the politics, become a journalist, do something, become a fighter for animal rights or cows. Anything you feel is really, really wrong in the world could be something you could do something about. Doesn't mean you have to do it. But it is a fact that that is the moment that you should be involved that much, because you're involved that much, but you cannot do one thing about it, then you're going to have a problem, because you're going to be destroyed soul needs something to do with that. And with one that's drugs, with another that's alcohol, with another that's food. And hey, this whipped cream pie isn't gonna hurt anybody, right? Well, it is. It's hurting you. And again, I know you don't want to do it. But so if you realize it, it doesn't mean you have to go out and do it. You might be in a wheelchair. You might just be less than. You can't do whatever you want, right? You can't become the world's savior like that. So now what? Well, nothing. You can just say that to yourself and let it go. You can just say, I wish I could do it, but I can't. And now I have to be okay. So you could worry about pedos or about forestries or about poor animals, slaughter of cows, whatever you want to think about that ruins your life. You could think about it and then say, it's okay. It could be a loved one. It could be a person that's very sick. It could be all kinds of people that are very sick. Like now with the pandemic. It could be your partner that is bullying you or gaslighting you, and you thought he was the angel from above with all the things he do for you. And guess what? He's only out to destroy you. You could be in any kind of situation that you, with all your heart and soul, are so hurt about. And then just say, I could do something if I was in a position to, if I was a journalist, if I was a love person, maybe a psychiatrist, or if I was a couple counselor, I could do something about this, whatever It was, right? But now I have to let it go. Or you're a cop, you do something about pedos and say, well, still, I have to let it go. You do something, you hope it helps, by all means, we all do. And then you let it go. And guess what? Now you can snap out of it and think about things that are like huge around you. Huge. It's like when you do smoke pot and you sort of fade out, you walk on the side of the road and this bus comes by and you're like, you don't hear it, goes by, but whatever, yeah, bus went by, yeah. And then when you don't smoke pot and this bus comes by and you're like, really, really loud suddenly, jeez, Then when you walk on the road and this bus comes by and suddenly it goes vroom, really fast and really loud, and you're like, oh, wow, that's so alive. There is a big difference between being occupied, whether that's with the pots or with your own mind. You can walk around thinking about your crazy husband who beats people all the time, or steals or abuses you, or just won't come home at night, whatever it is, he's constantly in there, and you're like, don't hear that bus. What bus? But who cares about the bus, right? But when he's gone, because you accept it, you let go, you walk there, suddenly everything's more there. And that's when you can work on your life. And that's when you can lose your weight or stop your drugs or whatever it is your problem is. So I'm about weight loss. I'm going to continue about that. So on from there, what I noticed was really helpful to lose weight, really helpful, was this representation. And that came back to smile, and the whole world smiles at you. Getting more out of life, more fun, hello, a career, a job, some money, some nice friends, or at least people around me, the right place, the right time, hello. We all want to do it. And how do you do it? So the first thing you want to do is make people comfortable. When you go for a job interview, you don't look like a slob. When you go out, you don't look like a slob. If you do it right, you can be maybe 50% better immediately. And if you're on steroids, don't mean a real thing. That's beside me trying it recently. It was really helpful, but it was natural steroids. Really helpful. Made me stand up from not being able to. But if you push it really much, this self and representation, then you could go up 100%. So when I was a younger lady, very short story, I was kidnapped. Let's cut it right there. That's very short. I witnessed a lot of super stupid behavior, and bad and criminal. But mostly stupid, because I was drugged up a lot when criminal things happened. So I would once even see a person then apply for a job and not even dress up, swear the shit he had, and sit in his chair, lean over backwards, arms over the chair, sort of like, I don't know, maybe even a jail person would sit. And then the girl would ask about his job, and he was like, I don't know, whatever. What do you want with a job, So that's why I don't have one. But right now I thought, let's see if I can get a job, And of course he didn't get hired, right? And as an example, but then multiplying it by 100,000, I learned, how wrong is wrong is wrong. How wrong is wrong. So I learned to sit up straight and wear something nice. And believe me, I was a nice girl. I would just wear joggers and a top, or one of those, tight, we have now the yoga pant thing, like the yoga pants, or just a t-shirt or a blouse or a little jacket. I would always be fun, and it wasn't bad at all. But I went a little bit on that turbo setting, and then I did that smile and the whole world smiles at you thing. And I was actually really happy because I got out of that kidnapping. I know one thing I'm going to say about it. I was there thinking it wasn't as bad. I was very drugged, so I didn't know. And people do that. They roof you up, not drugs, because I smoked when I was a kid. I smoked. I was 15, but then I stopped. But then this was like the drugs that people put in your water or your peanut butter sandwich. And I wouldn't really see it, but what I would see was horrible too. And I always thought that person was going to commit suicide if I would leave, because that's what he said. And I couldn't really do that. I thought he was an idiot and bad, but I was like, oh no, I was that stupid too. And then there were the roofies. Short story, I found out he had a girlfriend or something, or somebody that he knew, and I was so happy. I was like, he made me actually, I don't even remember, go there or something, stupidest thing. In any way, I realized I should go. I could go. So I wanted to, and was going to pack some bags. Why? You should just throw away your things. If you're in a bad situation, you're going to go, whether your guy's just a guy or a kidnapper or whatever, don't pack anything. Just either just run without anything or grab your passport, but don't bother if it's dangerous, right? So I'm packing these bags, and he notices. And so he jumps on the couch. He runs after me. I run up the couch, and I'm standing there like this. And he's in front of me also on the couch with this huge knife that's like the old, like a Rambo knife, like these really big ones with all these things in it, like that. And he kept saying, can you see this? It was in my throat and in my face. And asking if I was aware that he was crazy. And so I don't know how I do it, but I say things like, actually the only thing I said was, put the knife down. Put the knife down, very slowly, very calmly. Didn't react. And he was screaming like a maniac with that thing in my throat. I just went in some mode, I suppose. And then I said, okay, I won't go. I will listen to you. Because he said, you're not going. You're not leaving. If you're leaving, I'm going to kill you. You know what I do with this thing. I'll cut your whole face off. All that. And do you think I'm crazy? Put the knife down. And then I said, that. And a few times it got through to him. And then he stepped back, put the knife on the bar, calmly. And then he walked away and went towards the kitchen and the window and the outside door. And then I was like, oh, okay. And there was a cab coming, because I called them. And I walked to the other window where the cab was coming. I thought I heard it. And then, instead of whatever else I could have done, I said, oh, my God, look at that. And he ran away. He opened the back door, and he ran away. I don't know why he probably thought the cops were coming or something, 20 cops, right? So it was my cab. So I walked out, And that's how I left. Anyway, I was really happy that I left. And all the things I never noticed were really bad. They're worse than you could ever imagine. All the things, like, waking up with some white blouse with a beer in your hand, and people saying why you have such a big belly, and then me losing a child that he stole. God knows what he did with that. Really bad things. But so I was really happy. So I had a real smile too. And I had so many problems in my kidnap that I had this real smile, So anyway, I'm gonna cut that out. So I had this real smile because I got out of kidnap, and I was all yay, and I moved to a really nice area, and got this education that I really asked. I went for it. It was a sort of a governmental grant thing, and they first wouldn't give it to me, and they wouldn't give it, and they wouldn't. I asked and asked and asked, and they wouldn't give it to me. And I said, "Please give it to me," and they wouldn't give it to me. I said, "Okay, this is, I have to say this, the worst you could do. I have nothing. I can do nothing. I have no idea how to get anything done like this. This is the one thing that's going to help me. You have the power to give it to me. I can be working, have a career, make money, take care of myself, be happy for the rest of my life. And now I'm going to be miserable for the rest of my life because you won't do it." And then I said, "Well, okay. As long as you know that is your fault." And then I turned around and walked away. And then she called me back and gave me the grant, and I got the course. And so I went to school, and I moved to that nice area. I ate only normal but healthy things. I biked there. I really got into very normal but very healthy, common things. And then I did that turbo or steroids thing where I, really dressed really well, and I went out to nice places, only nice people before he knew it. Well, I was headhunted out of school because I was doing so good. I would study the whole book from page 1 to the end. I knew every word in it. And and then I got this great little career in real estate, and I hopped around a little in finance and mortgages and insurance, and then back to real estate. And God, I've partied a lot too, and that was really great. But what was mostly happening is that I would be thin. I would lose weight. I wouldn't even think about gaining weight. I wouldn't even want any food. You see, I didn't have this earthly, real pain of earth thing, anymore for a long time. I didn't have this bad experience I got out of. Get out of your bad experience if you can. Especially if it's a kidnap, just get the hell out, but any kind of bad situation, get out. And then just be happy and just, let it go. If you can't resolve it, I can't resolve the problems in the White House, so I let it go. If I could talk to them, maybe I could tell them, "Mr. President Biden, I think maybe it would be better if you," and actually I don't even really know anything to say right now. I just, totally love to talk to him, and I totally love to hear what he wants to know, and then I totally have an answer. But right now I wouldn't even know. To be honest, I just like a cup of coffee with him. But yeah, let it go. Move on with your life, and then focus on this you thing, this me thing, and this if you smile, the world will smile at you thing. And so smile in the mirror and just do it. And don't say any bad things about your body. Don't look at your body if it's so bad. And then think about how you can change things by being representable. Don't trash yourself Everybody does it, especially when you're overweight, but junkies do it too. I'm sorry, people that are addicted to drugs do it too. I'm saying it all wrong. I'm so sorry, but you give up so much in life that you go all wrong, right? And then you also say, well, now it doesn't matter anymore. And that's the opposite. That's the whole thing. You know, it weighs. Here's your happiness, right? Doesn't matter anymore. Oh, does it? Because it does, you know. And you can be really happy because you stay sane, you stay calm, you believe in yourself, you smile, you bring some fun to other people, you dress appropriately so that you don't hurt their eyes, or, you know, they could know about you, you're nice, you just look like that. But some people don't know that about you and can be really thinking, you know, what is going on? Why is this person here? Or, oh my God, is this person perhaps not so right? If I am really big and I wear black only, I don't even try to communicate with people, because an older lady might be afraid, or a child might start to cry. You know, I mean, especially from the bottom for a child, you could be very scary. And that's the total opposite here. Is very bad to think about and say, but just dress up nicer, you know, wear a collar and be nice, and don't force yourself too much so you don't have too much rejection. Just say, okay, bye, I'm going now. They don't have to say that you're not invited because you already left. Just let me know if you invite me. Okay, bye. You know, if they don't invite you, you know how far it goes. But if you get there and you feel good and you do lose the weight, then life will be a party. And that's something I also wanted to talk about, because a lot of people say things about it. How you're supposed to call plus size people. You have to say plus size, you have to say obese, you have to say supernova fat or something, whatever that is. And I don't know, you know, whatever, right? I think that all doesn't really matter. But what I also hear is that some people say that it's not good if you lose weight fast, or it's not good if you lose weight with maybe a pill or an injection, or a stomach reduction or whatever. And then there are people that say that it doesn't really count, or it's super bad if you gain the weight back, or some of it. Well, that's all total crap. I'm sorry if I'm not supposed to say that, but I feel that way. Look, if you have a tumor and you can remove it, even with prayers, and it's gone, it's still a great thing. And also, if it comes back and you do it again, or something along the line. And however horrible as an example, but if you lose weight and you really want to, and I know most of us really do, right? You're so sad. And then you did it. Then come on. That was a good thing. Whether it was with help from a doctor, or a stomach reduction, or a gastric balloon, a bunch of pills or injections, or healthy food, or just very little food. You did it. Whether that was in 1 month or 20 months or whatever else, it was a good thing. And even if you gain the weight back, which could be 5 pounds, 50 pounds, or 300 pounds, if you had it for a while, then you had it for a while, and that was great. Nobody should tell you that now that was bad. It was not bad. That you had your weight loss at that time was great. That's it. It's like saying your marriage, your wedding was never great because it ended. Well, maybe you had a great time too. And sometimes you didn't, but that's different. So let's not take that as an example. Then let's say you buy a motorbike, a really cool motorbike. You have it, you ride it, you like, and you enjoy it. You go to the beach, you have a good time, and then you sell it, and it's gone. Was it good that you had a bike? Did you ever have a bike? Are you allowed to show photos of your bike? Are you supposed to be an influencer about bikes? Whatever, but you had a great time, and that was that. And that could be because someone gifted you the bike, or you found the bike, you had to give it back, or you bought the bike, or you worked all your life for the bike. Screw that. And that's the same with weight loss. Now, it is very important that you are a healthy person and that you don't do bad things. And that's what they're basing it on. And I understand the base. The base is that if you're not healthy, you don't eat, you take a lot of pills, you might go down on the health scale for sure, right? You probably will. So you don't really do that. But if you do something along the line and you're healthy, then you should just be able to do it. And then there's the anorexic and the opposite is, I think, is bulimia thing, right? Well, nowadays they're calling really big people anorexic and really thin people bulimic, and obviously that was never like that, and people are just messing all these names up now, so I'm not even getting into that anymore. I don't even care. But what I do always know is that I never had that, thank God. Although, if I would lose weight, and sometimes I could not start, I swear to God, sometimes I would purge. I would count the days, like 1, 2, 3 days, and then I'd be like, I don't want to do it anymore. I'm just going to do my diet. And that's why I did it, because I knew I didn't want to do it. I hate it, right? I don't do it anymore. Can't even. It doesn't even, it's too disgusting. But I've been there, and it doesn't make me bulimic. I wouldn't overeat. I just say, no, I shouldn't have had that. So now I don't have it. So now let's see what I'll do next time. And then, indeed, I would stop eating those bad things, like maybe a bigger meal, an extra meal, or fries. I should have just had fruits and veggies, or. So there's always a thing. It's like, it's very sunny, or it's Africa sunny. You can have some sun. There's all kinds of grades of doing something. The fact that you once take diarrhea pills. I tried it when I was younger. I don't like it. I think it was painful. Mostly very painful in my stomach, and it would take forever. I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and finally I had to go to the bathroom with a lot of pain, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, and then one meal came out. I was thinking again, like with purging, it's better to just eat healthy, and that's what we're going to talk about again. The health part, of course, is meant to be healthy, and not to go down and purge all the time, become bulimic, or not eat at all and become anorexic. The good thing with anorexic I always had it, absolutely not. As soon as I was like size 6, that's it. I'm done. That's good enough. Now I do have big knees, maybe not like, they're not perfect. So I should see a doctor, and the doctor should do plastic surgery, like a little liposuction on my knees. That's how I always was, and I'm so grateful. There are things that I'm very grateful for too. Mostly that I got out of kidnap, and then I'm healthy and doing great, and I have a great mind, and I have to say that why I'm thinking of all these things is obviously my own struggle. I've been struggling for a while now to lose weight, because how is that going, right? Well, before the pandemic, it was going pretty well. I would go up and down, but I would be at a lower level of size. I would be in extra large and be happy for quite some while. I would go out and sometimes sport or whatever. Then I started jogging, and that went really well. Really felt great. And then I ran into a heavy bully and some heavy hate. And the pandemic. And during the pandemic, first I had gained weight, wanted to lose it. Someone talked me into using HCG, that's like a hormone shots. So I did try that. But at some point, I did lose 39, 40 pounds. The doctor guy said, he worked for the doctor. He wasn't a doctor, but he worked for us, a doctor guy. Said, it's not going to work anymore. And so I said, well, why are you saying that? You were going to send it. It's going great. I lost 40 pounds. What are you doing? And then he did send it again because I insisted, and I shouldn't have. And it started already with the start of the worst part. It's going to tell you last. The worst part of the HCG diet is that they basically force you to eat really healthy the first few days. I think it's 2 or 3 days. Let's say it's 2 days. Maybe it was 3 days. I don't remember. They called loading days. And what you have to do is what they say, what he said, the doctor guy said, was get McDonald's hamburgers as much as you can and shakes. And I'm thinking still, they probably just assume that that's what people that are overweight eat, but I never did. So it's like, oh, I have to eat that stuff, once, but not at McDonald's. I mean, look at what that, I can't even go there. Well, in New York, it's a little rough. Sorry. I have a great idea for that, make, you have the Ronald McDonald House for the kids. Make a Ronald McDonald a homeless place. So they all go there with a little bus. They have some food. They can sit there so that normal people go to the restaurant, Anyway, they're dangerous people there. So, and all the fat. I wouldn't want it, but I ordered it. I had to, and then I changed it to another place, which was, I thought, a little better, Burger King. And then I started with very, very good burgers from very, very, very expensive places. So you have like more or less a steak on your burger, and hardly any mayo or fat. And that's intentional. I really resisted it. But why? Well, because it is kind of you want to say addiction as soon as you start, but it's obviously not. But it's sort of like that. So he reintroduced her in. Of course, I had a hamburger, but never like that much. Never in my entire life did I do that. It's like telling me to have like 4,000 calories or something. I think it was 3 a day, but only burgers and shakes and fries and stuff. So I, of course, fell off the wagon and off the wagon and off the wagon. And then I was so stupid to say, well, then I'll do it again and again and again. And guess what? Every time you start, you'll do another loading days. So you have like 3 of these days or 2 of these days. It didn't work. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. So in the end, I gained so much weight, I can't even begin to think about it. And when it went really, really bad, when that started, when I blew up in eating, was when I, at the same time, I was watching one of those success stories on one of those apps. So I'm not naming any names, nor names of apps. And the person had lost a lot of weight, did that fitness winner thing at Christmas and Thanksgiving, especially Christmas. Took food at the Christmas tree behind her and licked it and had it. And I was so holding on to everything and onto her as well. I looked at her and thought, I can do this. You can do it. I can do this. I can do this. And I was doing good. And then she starts licking food. And I was like, yeah, I can do that too. And I could not do that too. Anyway, this is where I crashed along the bullying and all that. The bullying was, I was jogging. Bullied, well, I'm not going today. Let's have something to eat. During the weekend, usually. Why? Always on the weekend that he started that. And again, went out. And again, the weekends. And so the week I did great. And then the weekend, I fell off the horse. So I did gain a little weight over time. And then that happened. Yeah. Then I had a really tough time getting over it. But I did now and then lose weight again. Sometimes I wouldn't even really realize it anymore. Look at myself, which is a great way to lose weight. And then recently with juices and nuts, so a few nuts, a little hand of nuts, a slice of cheese, And then I did fat dissolving, which really worked. But I did feel very, very low. I had that, we all had a pandemic. And my reaction was to walking in the wrong area. If I walk in the right area with clean air, I can hop. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel so good. I can breathe. And then I take a cab back home and I get out and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get sick again. And then I start feeling it in my lungs and everything. But there's rats everywhere, garbage in the street. You know, people don't even clean it up. They're driving into rats, leaving that there too. You know, it's just so horrible. They let all jail free during the pandemic, and then all the hobos were over here, and then all the garbage is full of, you know what, it even smells of rotting body. So it is horrible, and it is a little better now, but I have to say it was a little better. I don't know how it is now because I don't even go outside anymore. But that's how bad it was. So if I would do that, I would not even feel good. I would feel so sick again. And I think that the long haul has a lot to do with air quality. But that's my experience. So I would go to the gym and try, and that would work. If I would go on that bike, and then I would feel better. If I walked to the gym, I would feel better. Eventually, I would get better. If you don't do anything, you really go down. I've done that, stayed home, did nothing, ended up on the couch, not able to get up. If I get up, I have to swing like 3 times, really, really like that, and then hold on, and then scream out so loud you think somebody takes your whole heart out. It hurts so bad. So what happened next is that I realized, and I was, thank God for that bodybuilder supplement thing. So that's, again, I'm not even naming it or something, so it's not advertisement. None of this is here. It's just my personal log and how I've gone through it. I got a natural substitute for the steroid-ish thing, said to then give you strong muscles, even if you just sit. And said to girls, if they don't really want to build, they should just not do the dumbbell thing, resistance thing, but just relax, and then they wouldn't really grow the muscles. And so I did. I took it. And I wanted to bike, and within about a week, I sat on the bike. So I was really happy. And before that, during that, I went from not being able to stand and walk to, okay, I could, but really hard. And then easier and easier and easier. And then I could just stand without my hands pushing or without me swinging, or, you know, I still do. That's the moral of the story. Because at some point I noticed I had, sometimes I have burglaries in here. And you notice that something that you had on your table or in your refrigerator is opened, and often you have to throw it away because you don't know who it was. Could be street person. They were in here forever, and they just are given the keys to an apartment, and then the key fits on all kinds of apartments. It's ridiculous. In New York City, hello, that's so dangerous. But anyway, you have no idea who the hell walks, excuse me, in here all the time. And I noticed on my steroid natural alternative pills and powders, they were opened. And they were so important to me because I was almost dying there. You know, I was thinking, I'm going to go in a wheelchair. And there's something else to tell you about not even wanting to live anymore. So that's how it goes down. Don't think it might come true. Because when I thought to myself, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to live with this body. I'm not hardly as big as these possibilities are for being plus size. And I already died like that. I couldn't even stand up anymore. I couldn't breathe anymore. Couldn't lay in my bed and turn around anymore. My chest was so heavy. I had trouble breathing. I was just dying. And I said to myself, I know, if I'm going to buy a stroller, it's going to be a wheelchair. I have to do something, right? That's in my best thought, because I said to myself, I don't want to do it anymore. Not just the thought, and not just saying it, and not just meaning it, but it going over me, inside me, becoming my life. And then not just only, also indeed giving up and not doing it anymore. Didn't even eat that bad. Really, I just had meals. But the total experience, the total spiritual, mental, physical experience of it just killed me. So don't believe it, because it might come true, right? Don't say it. Smile and the whole world will smile at you. Don't frown, because your whole world will frown on you. That's what I mean, okay? Don't say you want to die, because you might just fucking die. Sorry, I said fuck. Apologize. I was going to continue saying that when I took these steroid alternative natural vitamin pills and supplements, I noticed there was something with it, and I thought it was so important to me, to my life, that I had to try it. And so I tried it, and I was so stoned. And then I tried the other one, and I was stoned. And then I even smelled the other one, and I was so stoned. I noticed they were like glazy in a way that they were different. Like maybe something was sprayed on it, or maybe it's just a different pot or whatever. I couldn't take them anymore. Now these are the best that I've ever run into. And I still have them, but I can't take them anymore. And so I didn't take them for a few weeks, maybe 1.5, 2 weeks now. I don't remember. I posted it. I have to look at the date. And when I stopped, I was very afraid of not being able to stand up, because some people say that if you use pills like that, not particularly these, if you stop using them, then you won't be able to do the same. Or rather, then you will go right back to the state you were in. And so I was afraid, but I was not. I was not back in the state that I was in. I could just get up from the seat the same. It is a little less easy after Christmas having some extra food, because extra food, to me, food is now more or less I don't know, I think it works on my muscles or inflammation. So it's like it makes me sick. So even a normal healthy meal can make me sick. I really have to be very specific about what I buy. And then if it doesn't make me sick, it still makes me fat. And if it makes me fat, it still makes me sick. So it's very hard for me to eat. But what I can have is vegetables, fruits, or just rice with salt and pepper. You know, what I have generally, juice, smoothies from fruits, and then I have one meal at night, which was rice for the longest time, and I lost some weight, really, and I felt great. Anyway, so it didn't get worse. It got better by not needing anything and still being able to stand up. The only thing I miss is the will and the lust to get up and do it, because these usually, and you know, ask any dieting person what they would have if they could have their wishes come true. And it's very easy to explain. We'll stop talking now soon, but if you are on a real diet, you'll notice that it's very hard to you'll be weaker. It's hard to get up and do it, but you also just physically go down because you're taking calories from your body, and you'll be sad and tired and hungry. So the wish of many always was to be up and like maybe coffee, to be not hungry, a suppressant of the hunger, and stronger, not weak. So that is basically what these pills also are, and many pills on the market are. And I always am very glad they are. But I just have idiots that burglarize, open them up, and put drugs in it. So I can't have it. But yeah, what was I going to say? I think that's it, honestly. So, yeah. I conclude with what started this whole thinking pattern, which is then that I did that giving up thing. I did that get into what you should not get into thing. I started realizing, processing, absorbing, becoming the problem, taking on that worldly mass problem that we have of whatever kind, but let's say the pandemic, and taking it and bringing it in my heart and leaving it there. And then, oh wait, somebody was mean. Oh, I'm going to take that in my heart and bring that there. And what that then means is, oh no, why? What are you doing? Why are you so mean? You know, you could just tell a lady who was like a bar lady and tells you, stupid bitch, you're fat, and says something else with her other words. You could say, why? Or you could just walk out and say, okay, we're going to take a step back here. Bye. That's what I do. But at home, I'd still think about how people are, not her, but people. Why people are so, why people are, why things are, and that's that in your heart thing. Why thing. And I've been doing that for quite some while, and I guess it started with that whole bully cat thing when I was jogging and I went up and down and then fell, you know. But whatever the reason and when it started, it's what I've been doing, and it's become my whole life. I mean, in the morning when I wake up, why? And I go here, why? Oh my God, why? And then I actually have to write on the wall to lose weight. You see a little that over there. Before then, the camera around it would say lose weight, because I just forget. I'd be so consumed with all these things that I didn't even think of it anymore, you know. And that's what I mean. You don't hear that bus go by anymore. You don't even remember you're on a diet anymore. You know, you're so consumed with, oh my God, what are you doing? You know, that the rest is over. But the rest is you. You want to lose weight. You want to be happy. Maybe you want to get married, have kids. Maybe you want to be a teacher, maybe a lawyer, maybe a doctor. But how are you going to do it if you gain weight all the time looking at all these horrible things on the planet? Because there's so many things that you could worry about. You might as well stop breathing, but you better not do that, because I won't let you. Well, nobody wants that. You might think people are really bad, but a lot of us are not. And a lot of people want a lot of people to be happy and healthy. And that's why also oftentimes they want to call you supernova instead of obese or something, or why they say have the healthy weight loss and don't do it too quick, because that's not right. You know, there are a lot of good things here too on this planet. And so anyway, I just want to emphasize the happy, smile, and the world will smile at you. And don't wish the bad thing, because it might come true. Bye. Good luck.